Hey guys, it's daskro again, and doing another interview this time around with Nexus Sidedraft. Sidedraft is one of the main infantry guys on Team Nexus, and also one of the draft picks on the 8v8 Championship Gaming League draft event that is now proceeding. So that being said, gonna kill this dude, and I kill a dude and run away. There's an LAV here. Oh shit. So Sidedraft, say hello.
Hi, I'm Sidedraft.
Now, Sidedraft, you come from a very interesting competitive background. We've talked to a few people here and there that have talked about their background in Rainbow Six or Counter-Strike, but you have a background in Team Fortress.
I do. I actually started playing competitive games back in Quake World, actually, Quake World Team Fortress, on my very crappy computer, so I wasn't very good, but it kind of gave me a taste of that setting, more organized play. And so, you know, it's kind of like set the tone for the rest of my gaming career, I guess you could call it.
Oh,
so, you know, normally I buy a game now for the multiplayer. I'm not very excited by single-player games, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Now, why is that? Is there, I mean, was there some transition that you sort of, you know, had in your life or just through your game experience that made you say, when I want to dedicate my time to a game, I want to play multiplayer, not single player? Is it just...
Definitely. Like I said, around that time, Quake World, it was kind of, you know, the internet was kind of, you know, growing, and the fact that you could, you know, get into a game and have a completely different experience from a more random experience than what you get from the kind of structured single player was just awesome to me. You know, they talk about battlefield moments. I think every game has those moments in multiplayer where it's just like, that just happened. That doesn't happen in single player, you know? So from early on, I kind of was very, very, very interested in that sort of thing.
Now, for those that don't know much about Team Fortress Quake Wars, talk a little bit about how that game was and how it operated.
I was actually talking about Quake 1, Quake World Team Fortress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even earlier, way earlier than that. But it was, you know, it's the same as Team Fortress 2, kind of. It was, but it was, at that time, it was all capture the flag style rather than the command point of Team Fortress 2. But, you know, two teams, normally, back then it was played 12v12. You had all your different classes and whatnot, and there was huge emphasis on team. Obviously, it's Team Fortress.
And did it have different classes that were sort of unique or substantially different in terms of the advantages and disadvantages they had, sort of like Team Fortress 2 and, to an extent, Battlefield 3?
Yeah. I mean, Battlefield 3, you've got, you know, your 4 main classes. In Team Fortress 2, I mean, Team Fortress in general, I think there's 8 classes. So you've got everything from a medic to a soldier to heavy weapons guy, sniper. So there's a lot of different roles going on, some being more effective than others in certain situations, which is, you know, similar in Battlefield series with the different classes, but a little more in depth, I guess.
That makes sense. And how did the gameplay, how was the gameplay different in the Team Fortress kind of games compared to Battlefield 3 in terms of playing them in matches? So you mentioned 12v12 back in Quake 1 era. How does that contrast with Battlefield 3 and other Battlefield games for that matter?
Well, the main obvious contrast is the gameplay modes. You know, in Battlefield 3, your main gameplay mode, well, is normally conquest, so you have different points that you need to capture. There's a lot more flanking. Whereas in Team Fortress, with the capture the flag style and the fact that there's, you know, 2 bases that normally mirror each other, it's more static, so you have a defensive side with people defending certain spots and then attacking. Whereas in Battlefield, I guess there's more variety as far as, you know, how you can attack and defend and counter other teams, which is something that, you know, I thoroughly enjoy.
That makes sense. That's one of the things that I find very fascinating about Team Fortress is that it was really one of the first games out there that had class differentiation as we sort of currently know it.
Yeah, there were a lot of firsts in that game that people don't realize. Like, I think the original Team Fortress introduced headshots for the first time with the sniper class.
Really? So
Yep.
I did not know that.
There was also a mod of the Team Fortress mod in Quake 1 called Mega TF, Mega Team Fortress, which introduced prone for the first time as well.
Huh. Really?
And now, actually, the guy who made the original Team Fortress, Robin Walker, works at Valve, and they hired him to make Team Fortress 2.
Huh.
Actually, in 20ID, we got to play an exhibition match versus the devs and Robin Walker, so it's kind of cool. It's like sort of like a celebrity moment. I'm like, oh my god, I'm playing against this guy that I've, been reading about and playing his games for such a long time.
Huh. Now that's pretty cool. Now, you mentioned you played on Team 20ID, which was also one of the teams that I played on in the past. But 20ID actually had some very interesting history when it came to the Team Fortress series. Could you talk a little bit about that?
I first played against 20ID in a modification for Quake 3, which was Quake 3 Fortress. Same gameplay mode, Team Fortress, but different engine, Quake 3, and also in Enemy Territory Fortress, which was basically the same thing. They were extremely good. They always had the best players, best strategies, so it was kind of neat going into Team Fortress 2 and knowing all those guys since I had played with them and just being like, hey, let's play this game, and we did pretty well for a long time.
That's pretty cool. Now, I look back to sort of the early days of Team Fortress 2 when people were playing it competitively and sort of the unique things that sort of happened with it. One of the things that I thought was most fascinating was the ongoing debate about class limits. And we sort of see, that similar sort of back and forth in Battlefield in certain respects. Can you talk a little bit about, what that debate was about and sort of the pros and cons?
Well, basically, there's a huge difference between, the pub gameplay and competitive. For example, right now in a pub, there's basically no rules besides, and the server no dart because it's glitched, but basically we're pinned back in our base, which, in a competitive gameplay mode is not going to be fun. So, for competition, we try to limit certain things that are going to make the game less competitive, such as M320s, which can be completely abused, certain weapons that are obviously overpowered, such as the dart. And so in Team Fortress, it was very similar, limiting classes, so you don't want multiple heavy weapons guys because they can just, shut down another team. Or multiple medics, for example. Like if you had 3 medics on one heavy weapons guy, that guy's probably never going to die. So I think limiting classes and weapons and stuff to a certain extent is just to promote better gameplay, really.
Now, one of the big differences that a lot of people will mention when looking at competitive Battlefield 3 is having no 3D spotting on. And a lot of people get used to 3D spotting in public play, but when in matches you don't see it on. And so, what's your thoughts on that? Do you like 3D spotting being on or off? And how have you made that transition from 3D spotting on to be 3D spotting off in competitive play?
I think 3D spotting on just makes it too easy for seasoned players. They just look for that little pizza running around and they know where to aim. They don't even have to see the head. If they see that, little pizza, they know to aim just a little bit below that. It's easy headshot. So, and you have the fact that you can just spam the spot button constantly and you don't actually have to see your enemy.
That's right. Now that's sort of one of the things about it is that when you have a competitive team, or at least a group of players that are together that know what they're doing, and you have that recon guy, that provides that kind of intel, it becomes incredibly easy to really dominate.
Yeah, especially with the map and whatnot. And also in, you know, the competitive play, most of the players know exactly where the other team is going to come from and what the different entry points are, so it doesn't help.
And we're just not getting a break in this.
Yeah, this is not fun. This is one of the things that I really kind of dislike about. I mean, it's been a while since I played BF2, so I don't know if it happened in BF2, but you know, maps like Metro, where it's just like a base rape. You know, one team sitting outside the other's deployment. That, to me, that is not fun at all.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
I wish it's something that the devs would address, but who knows?
Well, sure the fact that there are certain servers that do have sort of a nuclear option where you can just nuke the whole thing and start from scratch again. I think that's but looks like not for this case. You know, if we can just break through and get one point, I think we'd be in good shape. I almost had it actually.
It's well, on our side, it's those guys over there on that rubble. I don't know if a lot of pub players realize it, but there's like certain kinds of rubble, stairs and whatnot. You know, somebody can hide behind that and have, you know, perfect visibility aiming down, and the other side, us, for example, in this situation, we can't see their head at all. So you don't even know there's somebody there until you're being shot at. And
these are commonly called, you know, glitch spots.
Yeah, head
these
glitch.
Are spots in which, as Sidedraft described, visually you don't see a model behind a given object, but the game knows that there is a model behind that object, and so you can still fire through that object as that person behind that object, and not be seen by the enemy. There's a number of these spots on a lot of the maps, and it's more of a function of how the engine operates. And if you investigate enough, you can find some of these spots accordingly.
Yeah, I don't really know technical aspects of the glitch, but you know, from my limited understanding, I would assume that it's something that could maybe addressed easily by just increasing the player model height just a little bit. But then again, I could be totally wrong because I'm not a game developer. And I don't know the engine inside and out like a dev would.
Well, that's understandable, but we can hope that they actually do, you know, fix it eventually.
Yeah, I don't know how hard that is to implement either, you know.
Oh, I pushed through, but I went down. That's alright, though. Yeah,
speaking of devs, by the way, you know, in this game, it seems like the community is very vocal for certain features that are not in the game, and they really want, which is understandable, but I don't think a lot of people really realize the constraints of, you know, a very complicated engine like this, and also the constraints of a budget. It's, you know, like, I would love to have spectator mode and battle recorder and whatnot, but I completely understand that, you know, the studio is limited by their manpower, their budget, and time, really.
Well, that's certainly true, and it's you know, all of us want, you know, them to sort of strike a balance in between what you know, what we would like for them to see versus what they can actually do. And you know, I hope that in the future, I almost pushed through, but I got killed. There's so many dudes there on the far right side. But hopefully in the future they do, you know, continue to put out, you know, new patches and events. I for one hope that spectator mode and a battle recorder do come to fruition, but I also would like to see matchmaking done. I think that would both be really cool things that will.
Yeah, I think with the coming matchmaking mode, that's kind of been alluded to. If that becomes really popular, I can see them supporting esports style features a little more, you know.
I agree. I really hope that it happens, because that would be really, really cool to see that transpire and see more people interested in playing.
Now, I don't know how likely it is to see that sort of stuff in this game, but you know, also a little worried by, you know, you would hope that it would be in the next game, but then again, you see, you know, look at the transition from Bad Company 2 to Bad Company 3. So there are a lot of features that didn't cross over. And I think that might go back to, you know, limitations of the engine as well.
Sure. Let's talk a little about the Draft League. Why did you join the Draft League, and what are you looking forward to with it?
I like the idea of the Draft League. I think a lot of it appeals to people because people kind of have like an ego, sort of. They want to know, you know, how they rank and what other people rank them and whatnot. And also the fact that, you know, you're just paired on a completely random team, you get to really show off your, you know, your skill.
And you're on team, I forget the team's name is called, I don't have it up.
Yeah, I think the captain is Crimson Black.
Yeah, Crimson Black, but you're playing with some pretty powerful or highly skilled players, such as Acute Chronic, who's a tanker, Blue Hooded, the helo pilot, Troya, a really well-known infantry guy. It's a pretty good lineup thus far.
Yeah, I think you know, I think we have the ability to kind of be a dark horse that people don't really expect to do super well. But I think it really in this game, it's not necessarily going to come down to who has the best players. It's going to be what team can kind of mesh together the fastest, you know. Because if you've got a bunch of really good players who are just running around randomly and not really working well together, it's not going to benefit that team at all. So I think it can really help to, you know, if you're choosing two players, for example, two tankers, one has raw skill, the other's good, but has the ability to, you know, communicate and call out strategies and kind of command people, that can be extremely useful. I would pick that person over the person who just has the raw skill.
And how much of it do you think is going to be about learning how to work with these new players and learning sort of the communications and sort of the nuances that each of these players have and that interaction between them?
For certain teams, I think a lot of it really depends on, you know, personalities as well. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. You know, there's some teams that, you know, the guys are good. They've played a lot of competitive play, so they just know how things work. And then other teams, you know, they may have raw skill, but, you know, bad personalities and stuff. And you can have, in competitive play, you can have one guy who's very good, but if he dies and complains instead of saying, you know, I died from somebody in this area, that it doesn't help the team at all, and it can actually cause a lot of, you know, animosity and, you know, ruin the teamwork.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point in that respect, because I think for a lot of us who have played competitively, and really for those that have not played competitively at all, a lot of them don't realize that it only takes one person who has bad comms or has a bad attitude or a bad mindset that can really create some. As a player, you may say, "Oh fuck, I just died. That guy's totally glitching, or that guy's totally hacking, or whatever kind of excuse you want to use." You can say that in your mind. You can even say it verbally. But the moment you push the talk button, and you're talking and conveying that message, it really doesn't add any value to your teammates' perception. You're actually crippling the team in the process, and it's something that we all do. We all, you know, make a comment on the comms of our, you know, venting our frustration. But part of being a good teammate process, and it's something that we all do. We all, you know, make a comment on the comms of our, you know, venting our frustration. But part of being a good teammate is about constraining yourself in terms of saying, you know, keeping those comms clean.
Right. Yeah, and you know, for some of the more pub-oriented viewers, they may not understand it too much since there's not VoIP, you know. obviously in the game for pubs and whatnot, but I personally do not care whether or not they were to add VoIP.
We can try to get B or E.
Because I think...
Hey, suicide out. Let's get B or E.
Alright. I'm probably going to die easily, yeah. But I think VoIP may be the most annoying thing that they could add to this game, really.
And we got B. Hooray. I'm on B. Do this. Guys, we made a breakthrough. This is fantastic. Pushing up on A. Oh, I'm so excited.
Sorry, I'm not being super effective. I'm not used to doing the whole interview talking while playing at the same time, so I'm just kind of like running around in circles, trying to shoot things. Whoa, bad guy. Didn't get far.
Yeah, we gotta
I'm over by a yellow dumpster.
I'll go on the other side. Yeah, no, I
probably come from D.
And learning that the ability to use good comms, I mean, wouldn't you say that sort of transcends one game versus the other? It's sort of a mindset you have to gain over time. Do you think that's accurate?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Your ability to be effective in comms, I mean, that didn't start in Battlefield, right? I mean, that went well beyond, maybe back in Team Fortress or even back in Quake 1, right?
Oh, for sure. Well, Quake 1 not so much because VoIP programs weren't really, that great. It wasn't used often as it is now. But, later on, probably starting around like Quake 3 era. I mean, back in Quake 1, I think TeamSpeak was out, but it wasn't as commonly used as it is now.
Oh, yeah, you had TeamSpeak and you had Roger Wilco. Yeah,
actually, it was Roger Wilco, not TeamSpeak, back in the day. I think that was one of the first kind of like free third-party VoIP programs.
Oh yeah. Now we'll keep on playing, even though we lost bad. We did get a break towards the end, but we'll keep on playing for a bit more. Hopefully get some better footage. But even though the footage that we're getting of us isn't that fantastic, this interview is quite good. And so hopefully everyone who's watching is fixated on our words and not on us getting
how bad we are.
That being said, let's talk a little bit about sort of advice that you may have for players that either want to play Battlefield 3 competitively or haven't even played any games online competitively but are interested in doing it. What words of advice would you have for those folks?
I think honestly the best way to get into it is kind of trying to find the people who do play often and just letting them know you're interested in playing, and if they ever need a ringer to just let you know, because there's a lot of times where teams can't consistently field all their players to practice and they need to find a body to fill in, so that's the best way to get in. A lot of teams, if they don't know you, they probably aren't going to give you the time of day, unfortunately, but just try to follow those players into pubs and whatnot and show them that you have some skill is definitely a good way to go.
I think that's a good way of putting it, of just jumping in and getting involved, asking, for those that want to play, that you're willing to play and you're interested in playing. I'll tell you, when I first got involved in competitively, I did it only because I had a bunch of friends locally who wanted to play, and we formed sort of a gaming team. And I'm fighting this guy. Got one. And he's down. But we formed a gaming team. We just started playing together because we all were friends. We all wanted to play and have fun. And eventually, you find that some of your friends are better than others in terms of their skill set. And eventually, you get to the point where it's you go from just a collection of your friends playing a gaming team, and you find other people that are as good as you are or better, and you try to play with them and that kind of thing. And so eventually you just eventually you find the right mix of guys and find that playing competitively is just a ton of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, communication's everything, you know. Just get a hold of people. It's so easy nowadays, especially with Battlelog and, you know, Gamers Portal and whatnot. But if you really want to play competitively, you can get in and find a team.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, I'm glitching out on the...
Oh, also, I forgot to mention that, you know, if you want to get some experience, you can always play in pickup games on the ESL website. You know, you're going to be paired against Europeans, but it's still an easy way to get in. You know, the ping, your higher ping kind of sucks a little bit, but you get used to it and it's not so bad.
And that's sort of one of the hidden gems out there for those that don't know. The ESL, which is a primarily European league, they have an event where you can essentially sign up as a ringer, and then it'll pair you up with other people of similar skill sets.
Hey, daskro, there's guys on the right, and not to your right, but my right.
Okay.
In this alley up here.
Okay. I got hits on him. Got one.
I'm gonna go around the backside. But yeah, ESL is definitely a great tool to, you know, get some competitive experience. It's mainly 5v5 conquest, but, you know, it's more structured than a pub.
It is, and it really is a lot of fun despite the ping difference. And a lot of people say, "Oh, the ping sucks. I can't use the ping. I can't play in European servers." But you get used to it. It really isn't that big of a hindrance, especially if you get your network sensitivities you know, set up right.
There's still guys behind you in that alley. A bunch of them spawned in.
Well, let's see. I'll try to get them. Don't see any of them. Maybe they're behind me.
I just got 2 in this alley.
Yeah, I don't know how we're able to dominate on this round, but not, you know, have such problems last
Yeah,
time.
I think the other team we joined while they're in a hole, basically. They're stuck in the base.
Javelin, don't know. I'm going to back up and hopefully go for one of the other points. Maybe go for A. We'll keep on pumping around, but any closing thoughts? Anything, any shout-outs? Any, you know, any other things you'd like to say to everyone?
I'd like to send a shout-out to Team Nexus and all the people who play. Nexus Dart, 20 ID guys still around. And, that's about it. And thank you for having me, daskro. It was fun.
Oh, this was a lot of fun indeed, and I love doing these interviews because these are you really get, you know, sort of a perspective of how it is for, you know, a lot of these players who dedicate so much time and so much of their free time. For many of us, don't have that much free time to this community.
It's definitely a lot of free time. I mean, to be really competitive, it's, you know, you can't play like a couple hours a week and be the best, but, you know, like anything that's competitive, that's how it goes.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many guys today, it's incredible. I need repairs.
daskro going 19-0.
Oh man. I hope I don't die. I'm getting scared now.
They were at D?
Yeah, there's a lot of mines though. You know, I shouldn't be even driving. You know, one of the things that you want to do as an APC guy is not be medic when you're APC. And I just went because I had the opportunity. A bunch of guys to your right. How many?
There's 2 left. One's pushing up. One's peeking right now.
Oh, I missed him. Uh-oh, I took a hit. I'm in trouble. I
Got
need a
2
repair
on the
guy.
right.
No repairs. Repair me, guys. No!
I tried to repair you, but I had mines equipped.
And I'm down. Oh. Oh, is there a BMT? Is there an enemy APC there? Looks like, oh, there it is. Behind me. Wasn't watching my backside. That's okay. 23 and out.
We'll spawn A. Spawn behind him. Awesome. And I missed him with an RPG. Go me, competitive gamer.
I got a hit on him. He's hit.
Disabled.
I missed him.
It's still up.
We are not doing good. He's down. Did he go to the... And he's down. We got it. And we have A. No, we got... Nope, he's down now. We got A, and I'm pushing up on D, or trying to.
We're taking B. I'm gonna check that out. Or, now we're taking it back, I think.
Not too bad. Looks like Lithos left this. Oh, he's still here. Hope he gets the... Lithos is in the server. Lithos is another guy who's played in the AVA Draft League. He's on Team Crucial as their tanker and leader. He is one of the better tankers in the competitive community.
Yeah, another guy who's been playing for a very long time. Very experienced.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of dudes at B, and I got pushed out. Spot on you, though. Hopefully we can get something. Double kill.
Ah. Ooh, they got around us. They're in that back.
Yeah, I see it.
Ghetto cut. Wow.
Got one. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh, hey,
I think the first guy's bullets missed you and just hit me.
I got killed by Fear 1 from Violent Industries. A lot of you may know Violent Industries multiple servers. Are we out of Violent Industries server right now? I don't think we are.
I don't know. I just spawned and died.
That's always frustrating. Push it up. I'm pushing around to C point. But I go down by Cosmo again. Everyone running M240s. Let's just, I'm on you, and here we go. Some med packs down, and then...
There's so many guys over there.
Shoot dudes. I just got mag dump it. And I'll be like, daskro, you're not aiming, you're ruining your accuracy, but you know what? I don't give a shit about accuracy. I want to kill dudes.
You just want to suppress people.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed out the dart is bugged and banned from most competitive play. So I used to use it before it was bugged, and it was very effective before, but once the new patch came out, it's just well, it took a while for people to kind of figure out that it was bugged.
It is.
But then everyone used it.
Yeah, because I actually enjoy using the dart pre-patch. It actually was a lot of fun to use.
Yeah. I think even before it was bugged, if you had like 3 people using it, it would be just as effective, I think.
It was. I mean, because the thing was, is that pre-patch, you could use it effectively, and you didn't need all that extra damage boost that you got out of it in this new patch. If you were good with it, you didn't need that extra damage boost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me get you that first aid right now.
I'm in trouble. I'm near C. Oh, neck. Oh, I got him though. Oh, it's a grenade!
Here's your first aid, man.
Oh, I'm fine. Push up on C. I think we got it. Oh shit, there's an APC here. I'm in trouble. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not doing good. Oh no, I don't know what I'm gonna do against this APC.
I got 1 RPG in him. And I'm getting shot from their alley area. Or street. No, he's
Street
down.
area? Don't see anyone. If I see you, do you want a med? I'm a med pack behind you if you need it.
I would love that.
It's right here where I'm.
Take that
There you go.
Pick it up.
That APC is still up. He's just shooting dudes.
He's in the street. And I missed.
Oh, he's gonna see me. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, I'm down. Oh, can I get a res? Will someone res me?
I'm getting shot from everywhere.
If you wanna. Oh, and there's a bunch of guys on the street as well. No reses? It's alright though, no reses. I'll spawn on CSNG and try to take this guy out. Oh, son of a gun. Son of a gun. I spawned in and then a guy shoots me with his Glock 17. I wonder why he's using a Glock 17, not 18. Oh, he's only...
Disabled.
Let me spawn on one of you guys. Where's that APC? Is he dead?
Street, I think.
Son of a gun. Son of a gun. I just, you know, I'm trying to make my way to that street to take it out. I keep on engaging enemies by the time I get there, before I get there. I'll spawn on you. Here we go. Got him. Got one. Where'd he go? I didn't...
I don't know.
Oh, he's behind... Oh, sorry. There we go. You got him. Someone got him. Oh, I got a revive. That is so awesome. Maybe I'll even repair this Jeep. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, there's a guy on the Jeep, and I went down again. Him forward. Is there a EAPC still up or is it down?
I think it's down. It should be. No, that's you.
What's your first aid?
Doing pretty good. Making a comeback here, 731 to 631. Not too bad. So, are there any things that you're looking forward to with the new DLC coming out? Close Core DLC?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think with the new Conquest gameplay mode, obviously with the smaller maps as well, those coupled together, it's going to make it a little more accessible to people, to field players. So, you know, I'm sure we'll see a slight resurgence in the number of teams playing. Or renewed interest.
Well, I think that's right. I almost had a really clutch kill streak there, but no luck. Sometimes that happens, but looks like our APC's up though. That's good. Is that Lithos who has it? I sure as hell hope so. I may just want to be a good guy and try to be his tank buddy. I'm gonna go find him. Let's see what find him. I look forward to the new DLC because I think there is a certain portion of the Battlefield 3 community who loves those kind of maps. But at the same time, I'm also looking forward to the new Armored Fury DLC that's coming out, in fourth quarter of this year. I think that'll be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, and I also think the game will be a bit more polished. I mean, if you look at Bad Company, with the Vietnam DLC, the game was, it was pretty damn good when that came out.
It was.
Took a while for patches, regular patches to come out, but,
It did take some time, but that's okay. I mean, it does take time sometimes. Boy, we took out him fast. Well, it's been quite a bit for this thus far, so I think I'm going to bring this interview to a close. So, Sidedraft, again, thank you for this interview. It was a lot of fun, as always. And as soon as I die, the video will end. So,
well, thank you for having me on your little YouTube channel.
Yeah, my little YouTube.
Hope it grows.
We'll see. I don't know.
I still find it really weird when I'm on like Reddit BF3 and I click on a some video link and then I hear you talking. I'm like, whoa, wait a second, I know that voice.
No, that's certainly true. That's certainly true. In the end, it's all about trying to get more people to play competitively and playing in the tournaments and leagues and matches. Because there's a reason why we all spend so much time doing it. It's because dedicate so much of our effort, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully, Des does the right thing, gets that matchmaking working well, and kind of lowers the barrier to entry.
Oh, yeah. Let's take these guys out. I grenaded it. Yeah, let's just shoot with rockets. Haha. Got one. Oh, there's one in the next wall. And I'm down, so we'll just call this to an end. So
that guy is still alive somehow.
So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will do another video later. Have a good one.